the business was just seeming to suck every single cent that I had. And that was simply because I was investing in things that didn't have an exponential return in the early days. What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk all about investing in the filmmaking industry that we are in. Maybe you're a hobbyist that wants to turn into a professional filmmaker, or maybe you're a filmmaker that's been doing this for a little bit of time but is perhaps stuck in terms of the business. Maybe things have slowed down, maybe cash is tight, or maybe there's just a lack of creative ideas around business. And this video is for you, because this is the video that I wish myself would have seen 10 years ago when I was first starting out. It all hinges around one simple idea, and that is simply to invest the time that we have, the resources that we have, and the creativity that we have, and invest that in things that have an exponential return. When I first started, I took everything I had in terms of the money that I was making and put it solely into the equipment around me, into cameras, into lenses, into audio equipment, and into lighting. And for about the first 3 or 4 years, I was really struggling to make any progress when it came to the actual commerce of the business that I started in the first place. Because at the end of the day, a business is supposed to be able to support yourself, support your family, and actually provide an income for your life. But the business was just seeming to suck every single cent that I had. And that was simply because I was investing in things that didn't have an exponential return in the early days. Now, of course, as the business grows, as profits increase, you want to be able to have the freedom and flexibility to invest back into the business and buy really nice toys like cameras and lenses and lighting and all those good things. But in the early days, we need to maximize that small amount of money that we have and invest in things with an exponential return. Now, there's 3 ways that I see that you can invest your time and particularly your money in the early days. And the first one is simply to invest in yourself. Maybe take a step back and think, how many times or how many hours have I spent investing in myself in the last week? We live in a digital world, and obviously you're investing in yourself by watching this video, which is a great start, but YouTube is full of knowledge around the film industry, full of creative ideas, full of insight and tutorials in terms of you developing and leveling up your creativity. And then also beyond YouTube, there's a wide world of creatives that have produced courses that you can learn from. And these are a great way of investing in yourself. So think about the money that you might have. Do you spend $1,000 on the next lens, or do you spend $1,000 on a really powerful course that could completely transform your mindset and help you level up? The second thing that I have is mentorship. So spending the money that you have, and maybe you have a mentor or someone that you look up to within your world. Maybe there's a particular filmmaker in the city that you're a part of. How about grab some of that money and take that person out for lunch and just say, hey, can I shout you lunch? Can I shout you coffee? Can we go grab a beer? Whatever you would like to do, and just pick their brains in terms of developing a better or a high level mindset from someone who has actually had the experience within your specific industry. Because it's all very well to take advice from people on different sides of the world, but there will be someone in your town who's made a successful career out of the creative industry, particularly filmmaking, that you could learn from. So spend a bit of money to invest in a mentorship program or a particular person that you really want to learn from. Thirdly, within the investing for yourself, what about investing your time and resources into volunteering at a production company that you look forward or you look up to? I don't see a lot of people doing this. A lot of people who knock on our door, particularly here, are obviously looking for a job, they're looking for an employment, but no one is willing to work for free. And I find that really fascinating, because if you're wanting to level up and become the best in the industry or really grow in your creative field, then the best opportunity you have to grow in that field is to volunteer your time at a company who is doing the things that you actually want to do. So why not spend a little bit of that time, a little bit of that money that you have, and invest in yourself by volunteering at a production company and just say, hey, I'll literally sweep the floors. All I want to do is spend a week with you and soak up everything that you are doing, soak up your processes, soak up how your team works, the culture, and also your post-production pipeline. All of those things will be available to you if you simply just spend a little bit of your resources in volunteering somewhere else. Number 4, film. You need to be investing your time and money in creating content. Please don't wait for the job just to come through the door before you pick up your camera. If you have a down season where you don't have many jobs coming through the door, this is a perfect opportunity for you to knuckle down and invest in your own creativity by creating the films that you want to create for free for yourself. This is somewhat a counterintuitive investment, because you'd think that you want to be doing stuff that is generating literal money coming through the door. But the more you produce content for yourself and do the things that you love, the more your portfolio will grow around the creative area or creative field that you want to be pursuing for client work, and the more you're going to learn. Like, practice definitely makes perfect, and the more you pick up the camera, the more you film, the more you make mistakes, then the better you are going to be. Lastly, build a portfolio off the back of that. I don't know the amount of people that have come through our door over the last couple of years and said, hey, I'm a filmmaker, I want a job, can I work for you, can I do this? The first question I will always ask them is, yeah, no problem, mate, can I see your portfolio? And the amount of times where people have been like, oh, I just haven't had many jobs on recently, so my portfolio is 6 months behind. That just blows my mind, because if you want to be a professional filmmaker, you need to be making content all the time. But building a portfolio is probably the single most important thing you can do when building your filmmaking career, because that is the main interaction you will have between yourself and a future job opportunity. And so that is probably the best thing that you can do to invest in yourself. All right, so the second area that we can invest our time and money into is investing in our business. Now, a lot of people, when they're entrepreneurs working for themselves, sole trader type models, you'll hear them talk a lot about spending so much time in the business that they don't have time to work on the business. And if I was to give myself of 10 years ago some advice, it would be simply to just make sure that you religiously manage that difference and make sure that you're spending just as much time on the business as stuck in the weeds in the business. We want to develop a business mindset along with our creativity, because creativity, the flip side of creativity is commerce, and we want to be able to balance the two between creativity and commerce. If we don't balance the two, we'll be hyper creative, but we won't have a viable business model to be able to be sustainable as a business long term. And if we're just focused on the business, then there's a lot of the creative aspect that will suffer in the process. So the sweet spot is right in the middle of creativity and commerce. And the way you can do this is to really start investing in your own mindset and realize that you are actually in the middle trying to balance the two, creativity and commerce. You're obviously in the film industry because you love making films, you love the creative aspect of that, and that's sort of more of a hobby component. You love doing it, and that's why you're doing it. And so we just need to make the transition into commerce, into the business world, to try and come up with structures and systems where we can utilize our hobby for commercial benefit, because we want profit so that we can grow, that we can reinvest, and that we can actually have a really balanced, healthy lifestyle in the middle. So my main piece of advice here in building a business mindset is just to be aware of that commercial reality and to prioritize cash flow more than anything else, particularly as you're starting out. You might have a couple of $1,000s in the bank, and just really try and start thinking about that money as opportunity to create more work versus simply just buying the latest piece of gear, the latest lens, the latest camera. As hobbyists, we obviously want to sink all of our money into the equipment because we want to make high quality films. We want the audio to be more crisp. We want this lens because we want the beautiful shallow depth of field. All those good things are really great things to keep in mind, but perhaps more on a long-term trajectory in terms of your business. You need to prioritize spending your money in a way that gets you business through the door so that you can get the wheels spinning on your business before diving too deep into that creative world. Okay, and number 3, the third thing I would invest my time and energy and money into is my relationships within my world. Now there's 3 key relationships within this. There's obviously the relationships you have with your clients. You want to ensure that they are the best relationships that you possibly can get, because a repeat client is worth its weight in gold, quite literally sometimes. I don't know how many clients we've had come and go over the years, but there are a certain handful of clients that just keep coming back for repeat works. They're potentially the larger companies, and honestly, we owe a huge amount of our bottom line to those clients because of the repeat service. Now, I think those relationships have been strengthened because we look after them and we give them good deals. We make sure that they're happy. We really invest in those relationships because they're worthwhile. The second type of relationship we want to continually invest in is our industry peers. So those creatives around us, particularly within our city, we want to make sure that we have strong relationships with those creatives because, one, it's just really good to be nice people and to build relationships and friendships. But the second reason is that you never know when you'll need them and when you'll need a favor or you'll need to call upon them for a job. So there's a whole lot of jobs where they're bigger than our one particular company, so we need to bring in other creatives to be a part of that. But also there's other creatives that have particular pieces of gear or equipment that we might need to hire for a particular job. And it's just really good to have nice, strong relationships with everyone in this industry so that we're all friends, we're all helping each other grow the creative industry within our city all at the same time. I think our city particularly is a little bit small for strong egos and people who just think that they're awesome. So take a chill pill and just relax and enjoy the fact that you can be friends with the creative industry as well, and they're not just competition. Now, the third type of relationship that I would encourage you to invest highly in is the relationship you have with your family. Now, you may have a partner, you may be married, you may have children, you may not be, but whatever relationship surrounds your world, you want to invest your time and energy into that relationship to ensure that it can be as strong as possible. For myself personally, I'm married, I've got 2 kids, and if I didn't have a really strong relationship with my wife, I wouldn't be empowered and encouraged to do all of this creative work. There'd be a lot of tension there because I work a lot, I spend a lot of time at the office creating content, building a business, and because of that relationship as the foundation for everything I do, business is easy. I'm encouraged and empowered to carry on doing what I'm doing. All right, so there you have it. There's some thoughts in my head around 3 different areas you could invest your time and money into other than purchasing gear. Now, hear me out, gear purchases are awesome. They help elevate the quality of our films, but primarily behind the scenes, there's so many more things that you could invest your time and money into before gear to really help your business take that next step. So what do you do with all this? How about you list out of 10 how you're doing in each area? How are you doing investing in yourself out of 10? Are you a 3? Are you a 5? Are you an 8 out of 10? How's it going investing in your business out of 10? And how are you going investing in your personal relationships, your client relationships, and your relationships with other industry professionals around you? I hope you enjoyed those thoughts. Please consider liking, subscribing, dropping a comment in the comment box below if you thought this video was helpful, and also let me know what you would like to see more of. We are a busy commercial production company here in Nelson, New Zealand, so we have a lot of things going on. And it's not always easy knowing what to make videos about because the filmmaking industry is just so big, so vast, but I'd really love to sort of find a little niche here on YouTube and continue giving you as much advice and tips and tricks as possible. So drop a line in the comments and would love to hear from you. Apart from that, we'll see you in the next video.